Hi everybody, and happy new moon in Aries today. I want to do a video really basic, these are really basic, like you don't need to know hardly anything about astrology to watch these videos. I don't want to get too complicated with final dispositors and stuff in my videos because it's just too much. But I'm trying to do a video every month on each sign, but it just so happens that it's not only the sun in Aries right now, but we have our new moon in Aries, which is really exciting because, you know, even though new moons are a little bit difficult, maybe a little bit even more difficult than a full moon, in Aries, we're talking about kind of redoing everything, initiative, deciding what our intentions are, and of course, trying to manifest to the best of our abilities. But for this video, I want to talk about Aries. And I also want to thank Astro Boy Ricardo because I just looked on Instagram this morning and he actually mentioned my name in a comment because he was, he showed a picture of my oracle cards that I created, my astrology oracle cards, because he had done a review on them a couple years ago. Him and I emailed each other back and forth. He bought a deck of my cards. He liked them. He talked about them because obviously he's into astrology and he has good taste. So, you know, these are available on my website, but thank you so much, Astro Boy Ricardo, for mentioning me this morning. So I do want to talk about the sign Aries today. We talked about Pisces. We talked about Pisces last month, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Obviously, it is a cardinal fire sign. And what that means is these people with a strong Aries energy, and I don't mean just the sun in Aries, I'm talking about an Aries rising, moon in Aries, those would be the three most important things, but also even Mercury in Aries is going to be really important, or Venus in Aries. And don't forget about the midheaven. The midheaven is really important in astrology, and if you don't know a lot about the midheaven, I would definitely suggest researching it and learning about the aspects to the midheaven and how they affect our careers and our social standing. I can tell from a chart what somebody is going to be good at by aspects to the second house, their ascendant, and their midheaven, career-wise. So anyway, back to Aries. We're talking about the Aries personality is fiery. They are direct. They are people. They don't mince words, you know, unless of course they have a Mercury Saturn thing going on or something else, but I'm not going to get into everything. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So these people truly, they embody this like pioneering spirit, you know. They're not gonna like just sit and daydream, you know. That might be more of a Pisces thing, but they're gonna actually go out there and make stuff happen. And this is true even with people, you know, not even just an Aries ascendant, but people that have Mars in the first house. These are the people that they just, you know, they just don't stop. They don't stop. Now, the problem is if there's too much cardinal, in my opinion, and not enough fixed, a lot of times there'll be problems with follow through and sticking, because we got to have that, you know, that initiative and then the follow through, you know, and that's so important. So what I say for somebody who has a ton of Aries in their chart is to kind of look for business partners or even romantic partners that, you know, have more of a fixed element. You know, an Aquarius would be good for an Aries because of the air vibe and the intellectual vibe of the Aquarius versus would balance out the fire of the Aries. Because remember, Aries is working on emotion, fire sign, and impulse. So they're not like going to sit back and be like, is this a good idea? This is why they have a reputation for getting in fights, especially when they're younger. You know, I'm not saying every Aries is like that, but when they're younger, they get in fights because they're not thinking it through. It's ruled by Mars, like Scorpio, but Scorpio is different because Scorpio will plan, they'll wait a little bit longer. They're not really naturally combative people. But the Aries is just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it now. You made me mad. I'm going to do it right now. But they're great as far as being fun, for one thing. I mean, they can definitely be the life of the party, people with a strong Aries. I enjoy quick-witted people. So a lot of times they're very quick-witted, you know, funny. So, but on the downside, you know, the impulsivity could be an issue, especially if it's aspect in Uranus. With Aries and Uranus together, you see more of a person who's impulsivity and anxiety levels are just through the roof. So they really need to think before they act. It's just, I always tell my clients with a strong Aries, no matter where it is, if it's up in the midheaven or on the ascendant or whatever, make sure you're really practicing thinking about stuff before you do it or say it. And I know it's hard, but that's what they have to do. So with today's new moon in Aries, and I'm a firm believer that new moons are sometimes more difficult even than full moons. And if you look at hospitals, schools, you know, the chaos that happens around full moons, it's often multiplied on a new moon. I have a theory on this. I think we're getting rid of negative energy or just energy that's built up over the past month. And we're kind of getting ready for our new energy, being that it's in Aries today. It's an extra special moon because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And this is where our initiative takes place. So if you have like a system that you do on new moons, for sure, I would do that today. But today is the day we need to decide what we want for the next month and probably the next year, because this is like the brand new astrological year, and do your best to manifest that. And when I say manifesting is not just sitting around daydreaming about it. Manifesting is making it happen. And to make it happen, there has to be a lot of initiative and work that goes into it and follow through. So this is a perfect time. Today is a perfect time. I usually feel the effects of a new or full moon about 2 or 3 days before it actually happens. So I feel I'm pretty sensitive to planetary changes. I always have been. I started feeling this a couple days ago. And it's not always a pleasant change around the new moon because, again, we get a little bit more anxious. But with it in Aries, it can be even more because Aries has a little bit of an aggressive bend to it. You know what I mean? So, but today, to make it positive, we want to try to set our intentions. I personally like to write. Some people, you know, have different ways of dealing with this. I write things down and I create from there. So it's all part of setting intentions and creating, which is working basically to make things happen. So happy birthday, Aries. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Bye.